Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson, and I am joined by our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ, and we're here to discuss, on a Sunday, Manchester United drawing with Liverpool.
It was a draw. I thought it was a good draw.
It was a draw.
Rather than a bad draw. Not all draws are the same. I thought we did all right. What did you think? You were at the game, obviously we were watching it on telly.
Not all draws are the same. I'll give you that one. I feel like it felt a little bit like a loss.
Yeah? I don't know, I think the confidence before the game was so low, especially in the media and just generally being a United fan at the minute, that I thought we were the better team.
I'd give myself a fat lip trying to deep throat that Red Bull.
Well, what have I told you? Do something a bit softer.
I've also got
time.
a cut on the inside of my eye there and my eyeball because the baby tried to reach my eyeball today. Which,
really?
Yeah, that was
going right after him.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we probably all would have took a draw before the game, but circumstances being what they were, when you take the lead and you limit them to the chances that we did, and we don't, I don't actually know what the final shots on target and all that what was, but it felt like we had our chances to do something, even though I'll get into why in a minute about why it was not going to be perfect for us. But it felt a bit like a loss towards the end.
Yeah.
Because we inevitably crumbled because they're just a better side than us, and they was always going to have... Like I just said it on the Full-Time Devils video. Do you remember when United was actually good? Remember then? And you would have this thing where we didn't ever lose or draw a game, we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
There was that inevitability about Liverpool today, that the longer that game went on...
If that had been a 120-minute game...
Probably would have scored.
They'd have won. But I thought it was only one sort of sloppy bit of defending that was the difference between us winning and losing, and that's like a personnel thing. I thought the tactics were really good. I thought the way we set up was different to how we have been playing, and I thought it worked. And it, like I said before, limited Liverpool to way less chances than they used to, and certainly less than we've been facing in recent weeks. I thought we played well.
Yeah, and there was a bit of fight and desire, which, to be honest, it feels shit even saying that there was fight and desire because it should be a... Of course there was, but there hasn't been of late. So I think it's worth noting, there was some fight and desire, and there was some ingenuity and some thought gone into the tactics and the formation, and you have to praise Ollie for that. And that seemed to work well, to contain them, to play to our strengths a little bit, and we looked good on the counter largely. Yeah. But my issue with the counter was my issue because I went 4-4-2 diamond. Very reminiscent of what we eventually played. Obviously, it's not three at the back, but when you look at the average positions people take up, that number 6 usually drops in between and adds a supplementary defender anyway, when you play proper 4-4-2 diamond and the full-backs push on anyway. It was, 2 strikers to occupy Liverpool's defence and put pressure on them, and James and Rashford did that very well. But my issue with it was what my issue was with it in the whole thing anyway, is that the midfield was always going to be functional and there was no one that can play a killer ball.
No.
When you're going to be a team that sits on the counter, you have to find that guy quickly and get him to throw the ball quarterback style into the areas that can hurt them. And we don't have that player.
We don't have that player. I think Pogba's
not fit at least anyway. Yeah.
But I think, it's a shame and it's bad that United don't have those players. But I think knowing that we don't, and obviously Solskjaer knows that we don't, I think we did give a good account for ourselves, considering that we didn't have the players to do that. I think the way that United pushed and pressed, especially in the first half, Wan-Bissaka and Young not allowing Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson to bring the ball out from the back, they really pushed up high and stopped that. I thought they did well, and I think that made the midfield look stronger than it was, because their way of bringing the ball out from the back, we stopped them doing that. And I think, like you said, we don't have players to make those killer balls quick and early, but I think considering that we don't, it was about as good as you could have hoped for in that regard, really.
Yeah, I mean, did anyone go... you guys let me know. Hit the like button down below if you would have taken a draw before the game, because I think most of us probably would have took the draw.
Yeah.
We was never... The only way we was getting a result was a scabby penalty, a scabby goal. We was never going to turn up, knobs out, and just go 70% possession...
No.
Have 47 shots, 12 on target, and win 3-0. No. That was never in the script ever today.
No.
So I was very happy with what I saw, because you can go, look, we're Manchester United, we want more. Yeah, we do. We do want more, but you also have to be realistic about what the 11 lining up actually represents, and it doesn't represent the best of Manchester United. Going into this game, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of revisionism in this, I was saying to my dad, like, everybody expected us to lose this and lose this quite heavily.
Yeah,
I think was what people was like. This could be embarrassing. This could be a fucking this could be this, that, and the other. Well, do you know what? If I phoned you up all week, every day, and was like, "Hey Joe, after Sunday, it's going to be Monday," and you're like, "Yeah, I know," and you're like, "Listen, Joe,
just say no
goes into Monday," and you're like, "I fucking know."
Yeah.
Then when it's Monday, I can't ring you up and go, told you. There could have been no joy and no gloating from Liverpool in beating us when everybody expected them to beat us. They would.
And also, like I said, the revisionism that we'll see tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow, but certainly Tuesday, Wednesday, when they're coming up with the next articles, is Liverpool struggle against a deep press, a deep line defence. Liverpool weren't very good against Sheffield United. Liverpool weren't very good against Newcastle. We sort of expected this. Well, no one seemed to expect it when they were making predictions, like I said, making these combined 11s that were all
Liverpool odds
players.
On to beat us today.
Yeah, people will act as though they knew Liverpool weren't that good all along, when really United have been shit for 5 years, Liverpool have been good for 2 years. Everyone expected them to beat us, and we played well and they didn't beat us.
Yeah. I'm going to come to the Patreon group for some questions in a minute. I'm going to just quickly refresh this page and see if the likes have gone up or down or whatever, and see how this has gone. It's 118 to 4. There's nearly 1,000 of you watching, so let's do some more of that. We will come to the comments as well. What positives are you taking out of this game?
I think Solskjaer's sort of his ability and his willingness to change the system based on the team we're playing against, and just generally change the system, has been too sort of static and sort of regimented with that 4-2-3-1. Even though I think
annoyingly so.
Yeah, even though I do think the personnel isn't really there for us to play anyway particularly well, especially midfield. But I think seeing a new formation was really good. I thought Rashford looked exciting again. I thought Dan James was really good, and that ball into Rashford was a brilliant ball. I think, I think generally the defence was good. I think Young looked quite good. I think there's quite a few things to take from it, but in particular it's that willingness to change formation and style depending on who we're playing against. I like that. What about you?
Yeah, I think that plus the fight. The fight back to show, this is Manchester United. We do expect more. We're not going to roll over and die because the team's in good form.
No.
Or perceived good form. That's the one. Chirayu, I'm sure I'll fuck that one up in the pronunciation, right. But says, surprised not to see any substitution. I think on that, if you look at the two lots of substitution, that just explains the depth in the squads.
Yeah.
Liverpool made 3 substitutions because they could. Who did they bring on? They brought on Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and who was the third one?
Naby Keita. Yeah, and we bring on an 18-year-old left-back. And
played him right mid.
Yeah. And he won 2 good headers as well in the last minute.
To be fair, I've seen him play right mid in the academy. Yeah. It's not a new one for him.
And who else did we bring on? Martial, who obviously is a good player, but coming back from an injury. And it's the first time I've had him in 6 weeks.
He was basically warming up for the entire second half.
It looked like he was warming up when he was on the pitch, to be honest. I don't think he broke a sweat. I don't think he sprinted. He was just sort of jogging
I wonder
about.
If he had 10 minutes in him, and we knew that.
I think that might have been it. I don't think... Again, you look at the bench. People have, again, criticised Ollie for not making subs early enough. Look who we've got on the bench. It's children on the bench, literal legal children on the bench. Like, obviously they're good players and they need minutes, and they can turn up. And we've seen Greenwood score goals, but I don't think you can be too critical, especially in a big game like that, of not bringing on such inexperienced or sort of past it players. They're the 2 options we've kind of got on the bench. We've got Mata.
Juan Mata's never changed a game off the bench in his life.
No,
and to think he can do that's mental.
Yeah, I think it's in this game in particular. I think the timing of the substitutions were okay. We could have done with someone else in the midfield to come in and shore it up, as we looked a bit leggy the sort of last 30 minutes, but we don't have people on the bench to do that. We don't have anyone there.
No, and I think that's the fundamental thing that is the issue with United, is that was inevitably going to crumble a little bit unless we got a second.
Yeah.
Because we just don't have the ability, and all right, players should be able to go for 90 minutes, but let's be real. Like, you had Rojo playing his first game in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
You've got Young, who arguably shouldn't be playing full stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked what happened on social media because I couldn't see. It was the opposite end of the ground, and so many people come and said, like, Young and Rojo just ball watching, and you go, well,
it was Rojo more than Young. It was Rojo's man. Lallana was sort of behind him, and then he just sort of jogged toward the near post and left his man, and the ball went in. He just didn't cover him properly. Just a lapse in concentration. He was a bit tired. Wan-Bissaka got sucked in, and they were a little bit too narrow as the ball came in, and he just sort of ball watching.
being asked to ban a Scouser that's in it. He's telling everyone that Liverpool are the biggest club in the world, but he's here on a United fan channel because...
Yeah. What? Yeah. That's how big they are.
Apparently he's already been hidden. It says unhide user. Someone beat
right,
me to it. 20 times you Scouse cunt. I love how Liverpool have apparently knocked United off the perch by winning a European Cup, which, to be fair, you did in 2005, and that was 15 years out, 16 years out from winning a title last time, and you've won a League Cup since then, and now we're off our perch.
Yeah,
you've knocked us off our perch by winning a competition.
We've sort of fell off our perch a little bit, and you haven't got back on it yet. They're not on one. They're just doing all right. They've done this 2 or 3 times where they sort of get close and then they haven't managed to win it yet. Obviously.
You've not knocked us off our perch until you win 21.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be fair to say.
That's fair.
Yeah. Fucking dicks. I think those are the positives. I think 2 more games where we have to see wins from United this week.
Definitely.
I think no one would have been like, well, if United don't win this weekend, then I don't really know if we've got faith in this guy.
No.
We was probably never going to win, but Partizan Belgrade, away from home, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a difficult ask. However, I want to see us go there and win.
Yeah.
Same with Norwich.
Hopefully some minutes in the legs of Pogba and Martial as well, maybe 60 minutes each. See if they can... Well, I mean, although we say that, Pogba was on crutches before the game today. I guess you might not have seen that.
No, I didn't see that.
Footage of him in the stands, like, coming into the stadium with a crutch. So I don't know how far off playing he can be if that's where he is now. I doubt he'll play midweek, but Martial certainly give him 60 minutes, take him off, that kind of, try and sort of seed them in for the game. But yeah, we've got to win that. This has got to be the first step towards a good run of form, rather than kind of just a blip, a good performance that then we fall back into how we've been for the last 6 months.
Yeah, and the only way this changes massively is either Levitt, Garner, Greenwood, Williams, Gomez, Chong. One of them comes in, or arguably 3 of them come in, steal someone's place in the first team and make themselves undroppable, which is fucking very unlikely that that's going to happen between now and Christmas. So the only way that this really drastically changes, although they can certainly put pressure on people, I do believe, and I think Williams, by the fact that he came on today, that he made the bench against Newcastle, following his full debut, following his debut, I think he's definitely putting pressure on people.
He's close, especially with Shaw being out, he's close to nicking that spot off Ashley Young. I think just looking at the weaknesses in the team, when we've got a full strength attack, I think you kind of struggle to get Chong in there, and I think Greenwood, as many minutes as he will get, I think will struggle to steal a spot off Martial or Rashford.
The way he does it is by probably scoring back-to-back goal, brace, goal, brace,
like Rashford did.
Yeah.
But I think Garner, the midfield is so weak, the options off the bench are so weak, he will surely get chances, especially with his really good start to the
fact he was on the
season.
bench today, and he scored 6 goals in 7 games, and I think 23.
Done 5 assists as well.
It's outrageous,
ridiculous.
So he's forced his way onto the bench today.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's forced his way into a start, or at least minutes, I think, against Belgrade. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
So, yeah.
I wouldn't mind it being him and Matic, because that would be a great way for him to learn. And to rest Fred and McTominay, perhaps for the league game, if they're considered first choice. I think that would be very good squad management. You're not going to see 11 changes, I hope.
No.
But I would like to see 5 or 6.
Give Rashford a break.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, give Scott, McTominay and Fred a break as well. I thought Fred looked good today. Bounced back from maybe his most sort of sloppy performance of the season against Newcastle, where he looked like he'd been building up a bit of confidence. Then he was really poor, but I thought he was disciplined and played the ball and picked up those scrappy balls that sort of Lindelof and Maguire made available for him by really high pressing against Firmino. He picked up those balls well and kept possession nicely. I thought he looked really good.
Nat Bradshaw in the comments. This is a good comment, actually, and something that I was thinking along the lines of, not exactly what you've said here, and I'll get into what I was thinking once I've read your comment out. Thoughts on Rashford's sub. Offers a lot more press than Martial and should have stayed on, in my opinion. Yes, Martial didn't press, and I wonder if Martial coming on didn't help matters because of how far we sank back, or if it didn't matter. But certainly that substitution onwards, we really started to get pushed back. And I wonder if we'd have had James on the bench, And James was able to come on because James impressed me with his heart today and his press.
He's good, yeah.
And he never gives up. And I wonder if we'd had James to bring on and didn't have to rely on him starting, and he can come on for the last 20 and keep that pressure on them centre halves, because him fresh against those centre halves, does that then stop that pressure coming back to us? I think Rashford did need substituting. He looked fucked.
Yeah, he did.
But James also needed substituting because he looked fucked.
Yeah.
And then it's a case of like, I bring Martial and Greenwood on. They don't really press like that. Either of them. They're not that aggressive kind of player, which is why I think Williams came on at right wing, because he is.
He does do that.
Even though he didn't actually get a chance to do that because he came in fucking injury time. But I do wonder about that.
He won a header for Liverpool's corner, and then he won another header that cleared the ball from a cross resulting from the corner as well. So he did look good, and like I said, he does press and he is aggressive. I think it almost felt like we know Martial's going to come on at some point because he's one of our better players and he's back from an injury. It almost felt like it was inevitable he was going to come on, rather than it necessarily being the right thing for the game. But yeah, like I said, James and Rashford both needed to come off, and you could only really take one of them off, as he did.
Producer Cam's in the back and he's saying, can we get 500 likes? I don't know. Can you lads? We've got nearly 2,000 watching. Can you do it? Right, I'm going to go to the Patreon group. Before I get into the Patreon group, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a what the fuck is the Patreon group. You've probably heard me mention it before. Patreon group gets a weekly like Q&A podcast where maybe we'll go a little bit deeper than we go on the public YouTube videos. You get a behind-the-scenes vlog once a month. Every other week, twice a month, that is. There's going to be a match day meet-up every match day. I've still got to sort out the details of where that's going to be for definite. It should be at Hotel Football, but I have to sort that out. There's a five-a-side that you can have against the lads in the studio. First one of them, this Friday. So if you want to come and get down, this Friday is the time to come and get down for that one. Come and join the group and let us know if you're coming down. So we've covered all that. It's actually 7-a-side, it's not 5-a-side. We've gone for the bigger pitch. So it's in the centre of Manchester if you're interested this Friday. Any inside info that we get on transfers, there was some info that we put on there today about contracts. If you would like that sort of information, then there was some information that went in there today from contracts. I've got a little... I bumped into someone just on the way into the ground and he gave us a little bit of a...
nice.
There's a members-only Facebook group. There is a Discord group with matchday chat and questions for live shows like this that we're going to go into. There's a live FIFA tournament. All of the above is what we've currently got, but we are also planning, we are definitely planning a Manchester live podcast and a Dublin live podcast. In the next 4 or 5 months, both of those will have happened.
Yeah.
Manchester one's with Wes Brown at Hotel Football. The Dublin one is with an Irish legend. Just got to wait and see how much that's going to cost us. And the location is TBC, but it'll be in Dublin somewhere. And it'll only be patrons that can come. There'll be no ticket price because you've already paid by being a Patreon member. If you'd like to come and get interested in that or find out what it's all about, or even just come and read it for yourself, what we're trying to achieve with it. Ultimately, we want to go completely advert-free on this channel, and we want to do that with our community, and that is with you guys, and supporting the channel through Patreon. Like I said, we've got people in here. Joe's about to go full-time.
Oh, yes.
Very soon, and that is on the back of a little bit of the advertising, but also a little bit of what's going on with Patreon as well. So if you're interested in that, like I said, there's a meet-up this week. They're going to be every month. We're also going to do a pizza show where we go and actually like do a live review of a pizza, which you've been asking for a while. There's all sorts of shit going on.
Yeah.
Come and check it out. Let's head over to the group and see what I got on in. Right then. Jay says, excellent tactics or shit performance from Liverpool. I'd say it was tactical, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's easy to say that the team that didn't do as well as you expected played poorly. I think United used to get that all the time. When United were the best team in the league and we'd play against Arsenal, we'd beat them 4-2, or we'd play against City and we'd beat them comfortably. It was always, was it good from United or was it bad from them? I think you have to praise the team that did either better than you expected or really well. I think it was good from United. This Liverpool team knows how to win games. They've won 17 in a row before this. To stop that, we had to do something right. I think it was good from United.
Do you know what it reminds me of as well? It reminds me a little bit of John Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone looks amazing. Yes. And then you fight John Jones. And he's that good. And he was like, no, they didn't do very well.
He had a bit of an off night, didn't he? No, John Jones had an on life. He's just perfect. Yeah. I think United played really well.
Why can Klopp get away with raging at the ref so much? Fuck knows, man. Absolutely fuck knows.
Because he swears in press conferences, so people like him.
Jose's probably getting a ban even though he was in the Sky Sports studio for what Klopp did today.
Yeah, exactly.
How good does it feel I don't feel that good, to be honest.
No. It feels all right, though.
It doesn't feel that good.
It doesn't feel amazing.
No, I'm not going to come out celebrating a draw at home. A draw away, and for them, if I'm them, I come away saying, I come away saying that was all right. That would take a point at a rivals like that.
Yeah.
Chrissy says, what did I think of Mike Phelan being back today? How much of an impact do you think he brought? Yeah, we noticed that he wasn't there.
Yeah, what? Do we know why? What's been going on?
Not a fucking Scooby.
That's been a bit odd, hasn't it?
I'm going to find out.
Yes,
we should have a player down, I think tomorrow. Do not fucking mention his name. We should have a player down tomorrow. Patreon group, you'll find out.
Pele. Is it Pele?
It is not Pele.
Okay.
He's not
That was my guess.
Pele coming down here to hawk his hard-on pills for us. We do have a player coming down tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to fucking ask him.
Yeah.
Should Pereira have started the match today? Well, if it wasn't him, who was it? Matter.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought he had a good game.
I did. I think first 30 minutes he was a little bit wasteful on the ball. He keeps doing that thing where he shoots from 35 yards out.
I think that's just going to be one of them.
But to be fair, though, I thought as the game went on, his discipline was better and his decision-making did seem to be a bit more, well, maybe just a bit more conservative, but he gave the ball away less.
Pumpkin says, Limbard becomes such an average player, in my opinion, must be sold. Glad he wasn't in today. Mr. Pumpkin, if he was in today, we might have won the game.
Yeah. I would have played him ahead of Pereira.
He would have been one of the first names on the team sheet for me in a game like this today.
Yeah.
Against a team when you're going to struggle to break them down, no, because it's not his strength. But today, yeah, Lingard's in.
Also with Lingard, when you're looking at the list of players that probably aren't good enough for a top United team, almost all of that midfield is on there. So then you look at who is most willing to be sold, and I think you take into account he's English, he's a United lad, he tries his hardest every game. If you're keeping some squad rotation players in there, he would be the one to keep for me. So I don't think we should sell him at all.
H. Hath says, finally a change in formation. Should we play 3/5 at the back more often? I think so.
Yeah, but do you think
it
will work against a team like Villa or Bournemouth?
Well, you play it in a different way. Instead of today, you used it in a very defensive sense in terms of there was a lot of bodies there and it was a 5 at the back because the fullbacks really were additional defenders and he was there to defend. I didn't really see Young too often in a crossing position, maybe once or twice. Whereas when you generally play a 3 at the back, they're quite attacking players. I mean, even in a back 4, they're quite attacking players. So when we do play a team that's going to sit back, what it does allow us is it allows us options in possession and it allows someone like a Maguire, Lindelof or Tuanzebe, any of them 3, to step out with it.
I was just going to say, how crazy is it that all of a sudden we've got 3 good ball-playing centre-backs? We had somehow none last year. I know
Lindelof, recruitment.
I know Lindelof was there last year, but just in this, all of a sudden, like you said, that 3 at the back allows for players to push up and win the ball high up and then use the fact that they're good on the ball to start those attacks.
And one of them can step into midfield, which creates an overlap. And it also covers up the deficiency because if we play it like we played today, which was a 5-3-2, then we don't have to play a right winger that we don't have.
That's true.
And then
play with 2 strikers.
We play people in a better
wing back.
I mean, I don't know where James's best position is.
No.
But up front, in the general vicinity of being up front, kind of works.
And allows him to, as a striker, you have to pull out to the wing, you have to drop back in a bit more. And his sort of incredible energy and his work rate, like you were saying before, I think that allows him to really show that in a way that the other players don't really have. Although, do you think Martial coming back sort of hinders the chances of playing that formation? Where would you put James in that, or would you maybe drop him? Do you know what I mean?
Rotate through them like we thought.
Maybe give Rashford a rest and play Martial and James at front.
What? Sean Wright says, what do I think of our favourite nutcase, Rojo? I thought he was very good today, considering he's come into the team after being so out of it.
Yeah. I thought it was good, but it was his fault that they scored. So, other than that, other than dropping us 2 points, very good.
Ahmed basically said the same thing we said earlier, was because of the formation we did, second half was a bit negative. I think it was just tiredness. We was without the ball, we was chasing shadows a little bit, and ultimately they're a better team than us.
Yeah. And also a bit of confidence and fear. I'm sure they were slightly nervous that Liverpool are going to score. We'll sit back. That's just instinct almost, isn't it?
Ryan asking a question on a point that you covered really before. He says, well, it was good to see some flexibility from Ollie. Do you think he's still using his subs poorly? And if so, do you think this is a fault of his or more because he doesn't trust them? I think it's more because there's just the quality's not there.
Yeah, he doesn't trust them because they're not quite good enough.
Yeah, and what he's looking at lads who've played no Premier League starts essentially, apart from Greenwood, just to come in and save the game. Or Marshall, who's
he's got
injured.
2 Premier League starts?
Yeah,
3. Yeah.
Honey Mustard Goat says, now Tony is back, will we finally start scoring some goals? I still think it relies on the midfield more.
Yeah.
Because like today, like when he came on, we didn't get it to him.
Did he even touch the ball?
I think he laid it off for someone at one point, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Anstey's Red, take a moment to discuss Marcus, the big game striker.
He is good at that, isn't he?
He's got 30% of his goals come against top 4 opposition.
That's ridiculous.
Which is hilarious that Lukaku used to get panned for not scoring against them, and Rashford
and he gets
pretty
no
much
credit
always
at all
scores
for it. Rashford doesn't get any praise at all for scoring so many goals against top sides.
Jay, biggest positive of the day? Flexibility.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. The idea that he's not just so set in his ways that he's only going for one way no matter what. Just seeing him try something different, regardless of what it was, I think was a positive.
Fucking hell, we've had a €10 donation, super chat here from Jeremy Vella, or Veya.
Nice. It's 2 L's, I think it might be.
It's a Aya.
Oh, I don't know.
Like paella.
Oh, lovely.
Good performance today for the team going forward. What worries me is that we have a difficult game on Thursday, and if we lose, they're going to forget today's performance. Come on, United from Malta. They fucking love United in Malta, don't they?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind going to Malta. Looks the absolute bollocks.
It's delicious.
Why is everything just made of sand and beautiful?
Everything's just stone.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
They should build most shit in stone.
Yeah, they should actually.
We're fragile at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that a win today would have done pretty good for us, even though I think everyone would have kind of gone... But yes, I think 2 wins on the bounce, Thursday, Sunday.
Then we're looking a bit more like...
yeah.
And I think if this good performance, this is also coinciding nicely with Martial coming back, Pogba hopefully being on his way back soon, Shaw hopefully being on his way back soon. If we can somehow not, drop points and make any terrible mistakes between now and when we get our full strength side back, all of a sudden you've got 5 or 6 games where we look quite good if we can turn those people bringing back into wins and good performances. So hopefully, it's the start of something good rather than not.
Abraham, why is your name green like that? It's a different colour to everybody else's. Jay-Z's blue because he's a Tory, because we have Tory ones like that, which is fucking topping it. But Abraham's is like this pale green colour. I've never seen that one before. Someone want to let me know what the fuck that's all about? What the fuck's up with our defences errors in this team? If not for VAR, the man of goal would have been down to an error, and Rojo really ought to have cleared the cross into Lallana. Because Rojo's not first choice, even though he did all right, I thought, today.
Yeah.
Young is should not be fucking first choice or club captain. And we're not a very good team.
No. And also, you can't say if not for VAR. There is VAR. He handballed it. It wasn't a goal. I understand that he got the better of Lindelof, but he got the better of him illegally. So that I think that's a bit of a... Yeah. I wouldn't put too much weight on that.
Gareth says, bearing in mind we were so nervous going into this game, despite losing the lead, should we consider this a real improvement? I certainly do. I think there's some positives to take from this, but I fucking hate the Scousers with every fibre of my being, and I'm not going to be happy with getting a draw at home. I can't be happy with it. But I think there's positives to take.
I think there's more positives than negatives.
It's fucking well cold in here,
It's freezing.
Why is he eating it on?
Don't know.
Decryption, was it just me, or did Fred seem to have a lot more composed today? I thought everybody played well.
Yeah.
And even though I've said we haven't had any no one with the ability to play a killer ball in midfield.
Yeah.
I thought the midfield played very well. I thought Pereira played well. I thought Fred played well, and McTominay was probably my man of the match.
Yeah, McTominay is slowly showing that ability to win the ball and drive the ball up through the midfield. I think it's almost like he's learned that from Pogba. Like he gets the ball 40, 50 yards out and brings it 15, 20 yards by himself now, rather than always looking for that pass. I think that's something that he's bringing into his game.
Some Scouser in here saying, knockers off your perch when you win 7. Mate, how can you call yourself European champions when you haven't even won your domestic league in 3 decades? The 90s passed. No mass. The 90s passed. No mass. The 2010s have passed. You can't win the title in the 2010s. If you win this season, it's in the 2020s.
Yeah. It's been 30 years, hasn't it?
3 decades, you fucking shit scouse knobheads. Imagine thinking you're a fucking big club. We only went 2 decades. 70s, 80s. Because we won one early in the 90s and we won at the end of the 60s. Deal with that. And why are you on a United channel? Now I'm saying. A bemused Red says, thought we went too defensive in the second half. We invited them on. Positive was Rashford looked really good. James, as well as his 2... he's fucking 8 stone, innit? Why go up against Van Dijk? Could you not just look at him and go, freight train? No.
Did you see the one against Fabinho as well? Where
Fabinho cleaned him out
on his arse.
Did he elbow him?
No, it was like both times it was sort of like hip arse into James's chest. I've never seen it happen, and it happened twice to me. It's just like
there's a lad I used to play with who he went to Everton. He played with Rooney at Everton, and then left Everton because he said them Scouse cunts won't pass to me. Then went to City, and if people know who this is, you'll know who this is. He celebrated making his signing his pro for City by getting drunk and crashing a car through a wall.
Oh, nice!
It was sensational. He was the under 21 or a reserve captain at fucking 17.
Yeah.
He was a real Gaza style player, being on and off the pitch.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And he just had this ability where he would arse you away. Like, you'd come near him and he's just gone, arse. And you just like, this makes no fucking sense. What are you doing? Just can't get near him.
No.
And he's like, wasn't quick.
And no one gives a foul for someone sticking their arse into you. I've never seen a foul given for that. You can do that all you want.
Yeah.
Get good at that.
Yeah, and he was sensational for it. What was the question?
I don't know.
Surely attack is the best form of defence. Not always.
No, I don't. That's not true, is it? I mean, obviously, it's good to see attacking football.
If we scored a second goal, we won the game.
Yeah.
And I thought that all the way
That's
through.
true.
I was thinking, please get a second goal.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't really relax until, like I said, halfway through the game, I've lost all my fucking fingernails because I'm worried here. I don't think the team has it in them to sit back like that. So much better when we press high. I think they were just fucked. Like I said, we're too thin, weak. Just
all these players
quality.
have played a lot of games as well. If you think about that, this is the second string side, and they've played loads of minutes recently. I think.
Harry, Steve, did I watch Liverpool's pre-game? Do they lump shots wide for the last 10 minutes? No, they don't. Thanks to Jabir for sending me the video. We've got some info on those. And I was right in my assumption that no one does what we do. I would like to have more data to analyse, actually. But
where United just take loads of shots at?
Yeah, like they're under nines.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Give us a shot. Just kill the goalkeeper for 10 minutes.
Dimitri, do you think we played well? Did you think we played well but switched off for their goal? I mean, not necessarily. No, like I said, I still thought it was a good performance. Whether people switched on or not, look, they're a better team than us.
Yeah.
They're going to create opportunities towards the end and stuff like that.
And we'd limited them to so few chances compared to what they used to getting. I thought, generally, we defended very well.
Lewis, do I think it's a disgrace to see the stadium empty so fast after the equaliser went in? You got thousands and thousands of people waiting list for season ticket, and people can't be asked to sit for the last 10 minutes versus Liverpool. Didn't actually see that. Was there a lot left?
I didn't notice that, but I wasn't looking out for it, to be honest. I was too busy.
No one left near me,
myself.
and I wasn't really looking around the rest of the stadium, so I don't know. If they did, yeah.
I
mean, I don't understand that whole... The history of our club tells you to not fucking go until the guy in the black goes
exactly. I mean, and, in fairness, the same with Liverpool. The two teams that score tons of goals at the end of games, there was always something going to happen, wasn't it?
Can our season kick on from here? Was this an example of this team do? We're going to be consistently inconsistent, mate. I think you're going to have to get used to
Definitely.
that. We're playing a lot of young players. We don't have enough players to make a full squad. This is going to happen more often. We're going to put in good performances, decent performances, I won't say good, against big teams, probably surprise a couple of people.
Yeah.
But we'll also get a fucking bum in occasionally as well.
Yeah.
I think. Nambi says, do I think Ollie has seen enough of Fred and will give Garner a chance soon? Not based on today.
No.
But I think Garner being on the bench might be a little bit of a nod to, go on, let's have a look what you can do.
Yeah. Also, Fred hasn't played much football in the last year, and he's now played sort of 5 of the last 6 games. I think he could maybe do with the rest because, it's tiring when you're not used to playing those games. I'd give Garner a chance in the week.
6-8 Guitars dropped in a super chat. He says, not entirely sure why Ollie would change our tactics twice and leave fullbacks exposed. I don't quite follow what you're saying there, mate.
No, I don't really know. I don't know which way he changed the tactics and how.
Can you follow up on that for us and let us know what you mean? Thoughts on the possibility of us reaching the magic 40 points? Should we have a sausage roll party when we avoid relegation?
That sounds great.
How different would our tactics be if Pogba was available for selection? I think he probably played the Pereira role today.
Yeah, I think the tactics would have been the same, just with a better player playing instead of Pereira.
Is the improvement due to players rising to the occasion or the three-man midfield switch? I think elements of both, probably.
Yeah.
Because there was more heart today than there was. I don't know what the fuck happened against Newcastle. It was shite.
And West Ham as well.
Yeah.
They just beat us easy, didn't they?
Dan James a smile. Do we match up well with Liverpool because they bypass the midfield where we're weak, so they lose the opportunity to expose us, or does the team just get up for these games because of Liverpool? Again, a little bit of both again, I think.
Yeah.
I thought early on, Young was doing excellent with... you heard me right, but I'm about to give my shit sandwich, so sit tight. He was doing excellent with the headers, and when they go diagonally long, that's how they hit their forwards, diagonally long, and they try and exploit your fullback. And he did excellent with it in the first half.
Yeah.
Second half... not so much.
No.
I don't know if that was because he was tired, because they maybe switched something up.
We dropped in a bit narrow toward the end. Having the five at the back allows the fullbacks to stay out wider, which, like I said, meant that he could be one-on-one for those headers rather than having to drop out to try and win a header. He was already stood there, so that allowed them to do that. And I think they did get narrow as the game went on, and I'm not really sure why they did that.
You can stick your winning record up your arse, you thieving scouts pricks. Do I think Klopp has dentures, says Dutch.
I think they're very, very expensive veneers.
I think, they're probably really fucking fancy
they're veneers
because he has
a tooth.
more teeth than the average crocodile.
He's got 400 or 500 teeth in there?
Minimum.
It's insane.
On the top?
Just on the top and then double that on the bottom.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a great point. What role does the Europa League play in our season now? A fucking big one, unfortunately, but I hope we use it to do what we did with Williams, where we go show us something.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's got something about him.
He's all right, him. Yeah.
And I hope Garner's the next one that he goes, go show us something.
Yeah.
And we go, well, he's fucking starting on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because that's how fucking good James Garner could be.
Yeah.
Angel Gomez, I would
Hopefully.
like to see him do something.
Yeah, we want to see more from him.
Is Lindelof too weak physically to be a reliable first choice? A lot of qualities, but massive Achilles heel. He does seem to get, and they definitely targeted him with Origi early on in the game as well.
But I think, mostly he doesn't get bullied that often. It's just more often than Maguire, isn't it? It's definitely his weakness, but I don't know if it's such a weakness that it means he shouldn't be being played or that he's going to cost us too many points. But yeah, there's something going on there, isn't there?
There we go. 6-8 Guitar says, sorry, I don't think I explained it very well. It seemed that around the 60 minutes we changed tactics and our shape and sat back and let the scouts attack us. I don't think we changed our shape. No. I think they just had a bit of a period that we couldn't really fuck with, and that coincided with our players just being fucked.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm probably not going to watch it back because I'm just too fucking busy at the minute. Normally, I will watch a game back, normally on my fucking own at about 10 or 11 o'clock in the house with no sound on. But considering I'm only just going to get home at that time, I'm going to go fuck a pizza up.
Oh,
that's happening. That's happening. Get used to it. Rashford looked like his old self today, says Luke. Can we kick on with Pogba and Marshall being back? We shall see. And when they come back, because they're not properly all back yet.
Yeah.
Video Cosplay Gamer 907 says good performance from the lads.
Fair.
To see Rashford looking like his old self. There's improvements to be made in defence and midfield. And do we stick with three at the back, says Ali, with these two wide forwards, or is that just to suit today's purpose only? I'd like us to have it in our top pocket like this, ready to rock and roll, just on the off chance that we need it.
Yeah, I like that. I know obviously Twanzebe got injured today, we don't really know the extent of that yet, but I think having someone like that in there, who obviously that will get him a lot more games, I think that would be good for him as well, his development. Absolutely. Righty.
Lads, we're going to wrap it up there. But like I said, if you're interested in our little Patreon group, there's nearly 600 in there at the moment, and there's rewards and extra content that comes out once we hit certain goals. We're not far off. Probably the way we're going, we should hit the next target in 2.5-3 weeks if everything goes to plan, and that's when we will be doing the first of the live podcasts in Manchester. And like I said, all Patreons can come, meet the player that we're doing it with, hang out, have a couple of beers, all that kind of good stuff, and then I think very quickly we'll probably hit the next one, and then we'll be doing Dublin. So if you're in Ireland and you fancy coming to Dublin, how it's probably going to work is, a couple of people asked us, so I looked into it, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, we can do that. So me and Joe will be going.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be hosting it alongside our guests, so it's just extra people, so we can go longer essentially when we do that. Probably do like a good hour and a half of a live podcast, then with a bit of a Q&A section for anyone that's in there. Let everyone go and have a bit of a photograph with our magic legend, Irish legend that we've got with us, and then we'll go and have a few scoops and we'll have a good old time. But when we get there, we're going to get there about lunchtime. So we're going to probably rock up and have a bit of a a five-a-side game as well when we get there.
Nice, yeah.
And I think we can do that in every single location that we go to. We'll be probably bringing about half a dozen lads from the studio.
Yeah.
So we'll have a team, and you can come and play us. But there's more than that in there. Like I said, there's 3 videos a week for you to come and check out with stuff that just doesn't go out on YouTube. And like I said, loads of little stuff on top of that as well. If you're in the mix, you want to get in the mix, come check it out. Link is in the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters.